Hi guys, how are you doing? I thought I would pop on today and talk a little bit about Maltese Tearstain and face trimming because people are having a hard time doing that. Let me start my other camera here so I can see your questions. Let me know where you're tuning in from and that you can hear me okay. Good to see you guys. So now it looks like I can see your questions. Okay, so first of all, let's talk a little bit about face trimming. Now, Maybelline, I'm actually growing her coat back out. Why am I doing that? See you guys. Hold on, I gotta turn this down. Now it looks like I can see your questions. So, okay, so I'm regrowing her coat, and so her hair on her face is a little bit awkward right now. Because I was trimming the top of her head short, and I was doing different things, with her look to give her more of a, I guess you could call it an Asian cut. So it takes time for her to grow the hair back out, and actually her coat grows extremely fast. It depends on the dog and the bloodline. Some dogs, their hair grows really, really fast, and some of them it grows really, really slow. Typically, I think cottony coat grows slower. It's more difficult to maintain. And so it's just one of them things that you just have to be patient. But I'm growing her coat back out because in my Maltese Grooming Academy, there's a section for show dogs. And she comes from show bloodline. She is not a show dog, but she was previously. So I'm going to regrow her coat, and it will take about a year for her coat to be grown out. How many of you guys have seen Maltese in full coat in person, or you've seen pictures of Maybelline in her pictures in full coat? Go ahead and comment below. Basically, when a Maltese is in full coat, it's a lot of work. And one of the things that is a lot to maintain is the face. The face is very difficult to maintain because you either have tear staining or they're chewing the coat off. Often the hair will get in their mouth and they chew the whiskers off, and so on and so forth. So today what I'm going to show you, if you have a show dog, you basically don't trim the face. You don't trim the corners of the dog's eyes. You don't trim that stuff, okay? We're talking about pet Maltese right now, and how do you trim it so that basically you can get rid of the tear stain, you can keep the hair out of their eyes so that you don't have tear stain, so on. That's what I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to try my very, very best to scoot this camera as close as possible, okay? And Maybelline has, as you can see, she's got a little bit of tear stain in the corners of her eyes. Not bad at all, but a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the corners of the eyes right here. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of treatment with Always Bright Eyes. Always Bright Eyes is a product that I talk a lot about. And it's all natural, and it does, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to turn the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so essentially if you have a dog that's wiggling, you want to make sure that you use something to keep them safe, a grooming noose or something to keep them safe, okay? But Maybelline is very much used to this. Now, if I'm grooming her teeth, that's a completely different story. She hates it, but she puts up with me trimming the corners of her eyes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow all this hair right here out. And as it grows out, I will actually start putting it up into ponytails and things like that to keep it out of her face. But right now it's not long enough, so I'm just going to comb it. And your Maltese probably gets little eye boogers in the corners of their face. So what you want to do is you want to keep it very dry. The tear stain can't grow when the hair is dry. which is why you use a product like Always Bright Eyes. This is to clean the coat, and this is to prevent the tearing, okay? This is an all-natural powder that helps to absorb the tears so that the bacteria can't grow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully trim the corners of the eyes. So as you can see, I combed the coat down. Now, I had cut the hair on the top of her muzzle. So let's say that her coat is all one length. You can see that right here, she's got a little bit of staining. Now, show dogs, they will, bleach that out. They will put the dog on, sometimes on antibiotics to stop the tearing. That's not something you want to do long-term for a dog, because unless they have, an ear infection or a mouth infection, you shouldn't have them on an antibiotic, right? But I'm just letting you know, when you see dogs that don't have any tear stain in the show ring, either they've bleached it or they have the dog on something to prevent the staining, okay? So we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the scissors, and these are actually curved grooming scissors. And I do sell smaller ones, but I'm very comfortable with using these. You can use nose trimming scissors, nose hair trimming scissors. You can do, you can use a small clipper to get the corner of the eye. And she's used to this, okay? So I'm going to trim. Now, I can trim above the eye if I wanted to, but remember, I'm growing this coat out, and I'm just going to trim the hair in the corner of the eye. This is getting rid of all the debris. And you only want to do this maybe once every week, or maybe once every couple of weeks when you groom them. It's okay to groom once a week, but you don't always want to trim the eyes. Now, the hair is kind of laying down, so I'm going to make sure I go against the grain to be able to get the hair. Okay, so now I've trimmed the hair. You can see that it's gotten most of the hair off. Okay, so now she still has a little bit of wetness in the corner of her eyes, right? And it's very typical. Maltese, they typically either the shape of their cheekbones, or they just genetically have more tear staining. And I think as breeders, there's a lot of pressure. Everybody wants, dogs that don't have tear staining. And the number one thing I used to always get when I was a breeder is, I want a dog that has a teddy bear face or a baby doll face, and I don't want any tear stain. And puppies, you can't just mix them up like a batch of cookies, right? Yes, there are things you can do, and I teach this a lot in my course, but keeping it dry, keeping it clean, making sure you're using a holistic food that doesn't have all kinds of preservatives and additives in it, and things like that, okay? So let's say your dog just has tear stain and you can't get it to stop. It's wet. People write to me all the time on this page about it, and you're stressed about it. You want the dog to have a beautiful white face. First of all, make sure you're using a good water. You can just use filtered water, like Brita filtered water. You don't have to use distilled water. You don't have to use all these waters that people, stress about, right? It doesn't have to be something fancy. I just use, regular water from Maybelline. And basically, the thing of it is first of all, I forgot to say this. If they're teething, they're going to have more tear stain. Okay, they are going to have a lot of pressure on their jaw, and it's going to cause the tears to flow. Okay, if you're using any kind of plastic dishes, it'll cause the staining on the mouth to happen. If they're chewing their feet a lot, the saliva will cause their face to get stained. And so you need to make sure you're using glass dishes or stainless steel dishes to cut back on the bacteria, and you don't have any dye ruining their coat color, okay? So basically, so now I've trimmed her little face, okay? But I can see it's a little wet, okay? So what I'm going to do is I've got it trimmed. Does anybody have any questions about the trimming? Some people trim above the eyes. They literally trim the eyelashes off, okay? I'm going to leave her eyelashes alone. If she was a show dog, they do trim the eyelashes because it makes the eyes look bigger, So Maybelline is very tolerant of grooming. Some dogs are not. You know, some of them will try to bite you. Some of them will be wiggling all over. I would highly recommend using little mini clippers. If you go to MalteseGroom.com, you can see which clippers I recommend. Trying to think. So now we've trimmed the corners of the eyes, okay? So now I'm going to show you. You can use cornstarch, just plain cornstarch, or you can use Always Bright Eyes. The idea is to keep the hair dry. Yeah. So this is the liquid. It's all natural. Like I said, it's not going to hurt their eyes or anything like that. It's even safe for puppies, okay? So it comes with this brush, and what you're going to do, you're going to put a little bit on here, okay? What I like to do is I put a little bit in the lid, okay? Put a little bit in there, and I'm going to saturate the hair in the corner of her eye. It sounds a little contrary to what you're trying to do. You're like, well, you just told us to keep it dry. But this will help to lighten the hair in the corner of the eye, okay? You can hold the bridge of their nose, or you can hold their little beard, and just, you know, this is just basically a toothbrush, and you just put it on there. And the next step is really important. So I'm actually friends with the people that create this product, make it in the USA, and the next part is very, very important. Okay, right now it's wet, and you just put a little bit of this powder over it, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to rub it. You're going to rub this in. The more you rub it, it activates the powder. I'm going to put this down so you guys can see better. So it activates the powder and helps it to lighten the coat. So you can't put too much on. It's not going to hurt their eyes. If it gets in their mouth, it's no big deal. This is non-toxic, all natural. This is what I use on her, okay? So if you don't have a problem with tear staining, you don't even need to use this. But I'm just showing you guys because people write to me all the time. Today somebody wrote to me and said, you know, my puppy is, I think she said he was 4 months old. What do I do for tear stain? So I'm just trying to help you guys out here. Okay, so once you rub that powder in, now it's going to go to work and it's going to start to lighten that tear stain, okay? The picture that I posted yesterday from Always Bright Eyes is unedited. That is an unedited photo that she posted with her Maltese. And you can use this if the staining is really bad. You can use it, you know, twice a day, morning and evening. And you can see now the coat looks dry. And I just keep piling it in that corner. It's like putting eyeshadow on. You just keep putting it on. And then I rub it in. And then you can take your little comb and just kind of comb her beard. And she'll shake. She'll probably shake to try to get it off. But it stays on really well. And so that's what I do. And let me see what kind of questions you guys have here. Let's see. Angela says, she's very patient. Mine are not. Yeah, she's pretty patient. She loves the attention. Diane says, we love Always Bright Eyes. Look how cute. Diane, what's your little Maltese's name? Oh, yes. Sandra says it works great on their feet, too. That's awesome. So let's see if you guys have any other questions. Okay, so Elizabeth is talking about the tear staining. That is not true. Elizabeth, I was a breeder for 8 years, and I can tell you that that can be one of the problems, but it can be any one of several things. It can be genetic, okay? Some dogs, some bloodlines tear more than others. It can be from food additives altering the pH of the tears. It can be from teething. Puppies tear a lot. It can be from hormones. So if your dog is having a heat cycle or they just had puppies, they can tear. And so one of the things which she's talking about is inverted eyelashes. And that's true. Sometimes inverted eyelashes will cause the dog to have tear staining. So essentially, the lower eyelid is pushing the eyelashes in against the eyeball. And that obviously would cause irritation and tearing. So, tearing can come from many, many different things. If you want to order Always Bright Eyes, if you go to maltesegroom.com, go to Always Bright Eyes, you can add it to the cart and check out. I can ship it to you. If you can't get it overseas, I can get it for you, including the grooming kit. So I use Always Bright Eyes grooming products as well, and they are wonderful. She had a bunch of mats today, and I was able to get them all out by using Always Bright Eyes, okay? So it's a shampoo, and it is also a conditioner. They do not have to be diluted. And then this is the spray Miracle Mist. You just put a little bit on, and it helps to demat the coat. It helps to fight static. It helps to prevent matting. So I know with these products, I'll be able to regrow her coat, no problem. So I'm just going to brush her and see what other questions you guys have, okay? So like I said, it'll take about a year to regrow her coat. She has a very thick, silky coat. If she had a very cottony coat, it'd be very difficult to keep her dematted and so on and so forth. Okay, let's see what else you guys have for questions. Okay, my French group in Canada wants to know where they can get it, and it's offer in French info also because lots of them don't know English. Okay, why don't you send me a message and I will translate something for you to give to them. If they go to Maltese Groom, they can actually translate any page. You just type in the URL into Google and it will translate the whole page. So I don't know if that helps. Okay, so Dawn is asking, I just started using Always Bright Eyes on my Maltese. I think I need to use more of the powder. Yes, you need to make sure you put plenty of powder on there because the powder will remain on there and it will help to absorb. It'll help to absorb the tears. So make sure you're putting enough of the powder on. Let's see. Hi, Diane. Diane and Abby from New Jersey. Let's see. Dawn said her Shih Tzu was in full coat for 8 years. Yeah, for sure. Can we suggest they send with the product smaller? Yes. So Christina, I talked to the owner and I suggested to him that you guys wanted smaller brushes. The product is amazing. And when I got this one, the brushes were smaller. They were this size. Now they've switched to bigger brushes, and I told him that he needs to switch it to smaller brushes. So I hope that helps. So Patty is saying she used it. If you used it and had issues with it, contact Always Bright Eyes, the owner. And it's listed on the main website, alwaysbrighteyes.com, and they will speak with you and make sure that you're using it correctly and so on and so forth. Let's see. Sure. I will send you the link and you can, she's asking, anybody that wants to share this in a group or something, I can certainly send you the link for it to be shared. Yes, you can order them separately. They're asking if I can sell it separately. Yes, I can. They do sell it separately. I can send it to you separately. Yes, Faith is saying that she uses her finger, and so you can just dip your finger, on it, or you can just, apply it in the corner and then just rub it with your finger. It's very much like if any of you guys use powder concealer or mineral powder, it's like that. You need to work it in, and you can even use it on their beard. See, she can feel it on her beard, so she was licking. But you can even use this on their beard as well. You can put it on a makeup remover pad and put this liquid on the beard and then put some of the powder on. Okay, let's see. Blending the face with the chest hair. Mine always looks choppy. So the question Patty had was, how do you blend the face and the chest hair? It depends on how long you have the coat. I do a lot of scissor cutting. Looks like Trisha's a professional groomer. She's saying thinning shears or blenders help a lot to lay nicely. The brush in the kit was too big for my Winnie's face. I just bought an eyeshadow brush. Yeah. So Dawn, that's a good idea. So you can just pick up, e.l.f. makes a really good, Target sells a really good makeup brush that you could use. Okay. So any other questions? Trisha, thank you for joining us and giving some tips. Basically, I have found that the choppy coat, if you use a guide on a clipper, helps to blend, or you can lift the coat up and kind of similar to doing layering on a person's hair, it helps. But like Trisha was saying, if you have thinning shears, that helps too. So, blending, and depending on how thick their coat is, if you're cutting a mat, it's going to look choppy. So typically try dematting the dog first so that when it cuts with the clippers, it's smoother. Let's see. Hi, Linda. So basically, I'm just going to sit here and brush her, and you guys can let me know if you have any questions. She's meticulously licking now because I was putting that stuff on her. She can feel it. So where are you guys tuning in from? Did you guys see I'm doing a webinar tomorrow to teach you about my grooming academy and also the Maltese breed. Like, a lot of people want to groom at home and they're scared to, so I try to help people feel encouraged to groom at home and feel confident about it. Trisha lives just up the road from me, about 45 minutes. Charleston, West Virginia. I'll put this down so you guys can see. Let's see. Two different cameras going here. We got Mini Me Maltese says that she loves always bright eyes. Hi, Trisha. Patty Hoke said she's a groomer and she did a bad job. She's a barber. You know what? Isn't it true, though, that in some ways it's like they have hair because they don't shed like a regular dog? But in a lot of ways, their coat can be very difficult. especially with mats, right? The matting thing is like crazy, crazy frustrating. And so the more products you use to help keep the static down, you know, keep them from licking and chewing their coat. Okay, so here we go. So Robin is saying she's scared that she's going to nick the dog with the clippers. Clippers are very forgiving. There's only a couple areas that you need to worry about. So Trisha would probably reiterate this. This section right here, where the skin comes down in front of their knees, is a real easy area to nick. So when you're moving the clippers over that area, you need to make sure you stay outside the fold of skin there. And other than that, I think that the clippers are very forgiving. You know, if you just go with the curve of the body, it's actually quite easy. Yep, it's absolutely true, Sharon. She said, how come some Maltese have straight hair and some have loose curl waves? It's very genetic, okay? Genetics in Maltese are so variated. You know, they vary, okay? Neck folds, Tricia says too, is difficult. Okay, so being a breeder for 8 years, I can tell you that there are different bloodlines all across the world. Some of them have very thick, straight coats, okay? Some of them have curly, kinky coats, more like a Bichon. And there's really no way of knowing when they're young. It's very difficult to tell. You know, when they're 12 weeks old, it's really difficult to tell. And honestly, it's just one of the things. It's just if you can see the parents, but usually they have the parents cut down, or if you're buying a dog out of state, maybe you can't see the parents. But if you can see the parents and see what their coats are like. But honestly, if you're just buying them for a pet, then you wouldn't really care what the coat is like, right? You care about, you know, the health of the dog and the personality and giving it a wonderful home, not so much about the coat. But that's absolutely true. It's just genetics. And honestly, you just have to use really good products, then the coat won't be as dry. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, Sharon. It's just the bloodlines. And even within a litter, sometimes the coats are very different. Let's see. How do you cut the beard closer to the ears? Okay, so Diane is asking, how do I cut by the ears? So I typically will put her when I'm trimming the sides of the face, I put her hair up into a little, or her two ears up into a little ponytail, or use a clip or something to hold it. And then what I do is I trim from underneath the ear, and this is when I'm using the clippers. So if I'm trimming the cheek, I would start in front of the ear and come forward until it's just at the base of her muzzle. Okay, does that make sense? So this whole section down here would be trimmed off so that it looks like this. She's like, what are you doing? So this part would be short. Now, because I'm growing her hair out, you can see that this is the section. So you would cut in front of the ear, straight out from the eye. This is the cap part. So I would trim from the bottom of the eye here down, and I would trim to straight down from the eye. I like to leave a little bit of beard right here. And then underneath the chin, it's just about from here back. So I really should try to draw a diagram for you guys, but it's just straight back from the eye, in front of the ear, then down. I leave about an inch of hair on the muzzle, and then I trim all those underneath here. And the Asian pet cut video in my course, it explains how to do that. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Yep, exactly. The coats are very different bloodlines. What kind of products? What do I use on them? You're asking me? Vanya, are you asking what kind of products I use? Okay. So she was saying, I need to pluck the ear hair out. I did try, but Lily freaked. Okay, first of all, you need to make sure that you have them in something where they're going to hold their head still or have somebody hold the head still. Then you need to be using a ear grooming powder. If you go on my site, maltesegroom.com, click down to Amazon products and you'll see the grooming powder that I recommend. Okay? You sprinkle a little bit in there and then you can use your fingers, you can use tweezers, you can use hemostat clamps. So, honestly, it's very simple. You just put that in there and you just pluck the ear hair out and that powder helps the pain. So it helps for some reason, it helps you get a grip on the hair and you just pluck it quickly. And if you're really struggling, then take it to a professional groomer and have them do it. Leaves more in the beard. Good, I'm glad, Diane. Yes, for the coat. What kind of products? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So she's asking what I use for grooming products. Always Bright Eyes is listed on my site. You can go there and buy the whole 4-step system. Same company that makes the Always Bright Eyes for the tear staining came out with this wonderful grooming line. I love it. So it's very simple. No need to dilute it or anything. I use it completely full strength. It's got shampoo, conditioner, and also this spray, and then it also has a lightening liquid that you can use when you're bathing. So it lightens similar to the Always Bright Eyes, but you don't leave it on, okay? You don't leave the lightening, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Anyways, it's part of the bathing process. So there's 4 different steps, and it works really well. So that's what I use. I hope that answers your question. You can go to maltesegroom.com to order that. Oh, the shampoo. I've given her probably 10 baths and I still have some left. And I put a lot of it on her, so it lasts quite a while. I actually use the detangler. I use the shampoo and conditioner when I bathe her. Then you can spray this on before you blow dry them. And you can even use this as a in-between baths to cut down on mats, help detangle. So you can just spray it on, leave it on, comb through it between baths. Linda's saying she uses Always Bright Eyes. She loves it. Yeah, it's an amazing product. I told Alan and Veronica, if you go back in the videos on this page, I actually interviewed her about the products. They've been breeders for, I think, about 30 years now, and they actually created it with all the history of being breeders behind them. So they knew that there was products, there's a lot of products, right? We all know there are tons and tons and tons of grooming products to choose from. So they created this product, with all their experience, and they wanted the very best. And so they created this product for us. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I don't have the shampoo and conditioner in here to show you guys because it's out by the sink, but I hope that answers your question. So again, make sure you guys hop on here at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. There is a group event. So if you go to events on this page, you can subscribe to the event and join us tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing a live webinar. It's not going to be a grooming tutorial. It is going to have pictures and explanations about things to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about my course and what it entails. So make sure you guys join me tomorrow night. And Veronica is saying that she uses the product as well. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are really enjoying the products because as I said, I know the owners. I know that they had the best interest of the Maltese when they created it, and they truly have a love for the breed. Always Bright Eyes is the name of the product. I'll hold it up to the camera. Always Bright Eyes. This is the Super Silky Spray, the Miracle Mist. This is the leave-in conditioner, but you would use the shampoo and conditioner before this. And then, of course, they have the facial wash as well that you use when you're. So it's a all-inclusive step. Diane is saying we use their grooming products as well and love them. We have used many different grooming products. We prefer the Always Bright Eyes grooming products. You know, Diane, isn't that true? As you can imagine, over 20 years, I've tried lots of different products. And it doesn't turn the coat blue. A lot of whitening shampoos will turn the coat blue. It helps with static. It helps with matting. Like I said, she had a bunch of mats, and I just used this spray and the shampoo and conditioner. All the mats are out. And I didn't lose a lot of coat either. So, you know, it strengthens the coat. It helps it to cut back on the amount of dirt that stays in the coat. Because when the coat's dirty, it'll mat more. Did you guys know that? When the coat is dirty, it will mat more. So grooming once a week or every 2 weeks is best to keep the coat very, very clean. And then you can just use the Always Bright Eyes mist between baths. Okay, answer me this. You guys, what is the #1 place that your Maltese mats? Where do they get the mats? Is it the chest? Is it the feet? Legs? Where do your Maltese get the mats? Yes, true. Diane, that's true. The products are very gentle. They smell wonderful. This smells like coconut, and I really like stuff that smells good. Yes, it smells, Faith says smells very good for a long time. It does. Under the armpits. Yes, that's where they mat, underneath the armpits. Isn't that true? Let's see. She's got some right now. Let me see if I can show you how to demat. So underneath the armpits is a little tricky. I hold her leg up like this, and I just kind of comb underneath the armpit, and I just kind of work the mat. Now my slicker brush works much better. Let me see if I have it handy. No, I must have it in my drawer. Stand by, guys. Okay. This is my slicker brush, and you have to be careful underneath the armpit because you don't want to cut, but I'm not even touching her skin, and I just kind of use this slicker brush and work with the hair to get the mat out. You can also lay them on their back on your lap if you're watching TV and get the mats out. See? Just very slowly. See, she's got a little mat. I put the mat against my hand and just kind of work on it slowly, and the slicker brush just takes it right out. She wears a harness, so she gets a lot of mats underneath her armpit too. She goes outside, so she gets mats on her paws. Right. Yep. Where else do they get mats, you guys? Chest? Yep. If they run through grass, if their hair is dragging on the ground, they'll get it. If you have clothing on them, they really get matted bad. Unless it's satin, or yeah, satin won't mat. Like if you have a satin. Did you know that the behind the ears? Yes, Linda. So I'll show you guys. Oh, she's got a mat right here. I'm going to show you guys how to get this mat out. I hope you guys can see. Okay. Now watch this. So she's got a mat right here. Can you see it? It's a good size mat. So what I do is I hold the mat away from her skin, and I use my slicker brush, and I just work on it. It's not even pulling her hair or anything. and it gets the mat completely out. Almost got it. So I keep pulling the mat apart like this to get it out. The other thing I do sometimes is I just lay her ear right on my hand. Yeah, I tell you what, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. I almost got it completely out. See if she has one on the other side. If they're scratching at their ears a lot, make sure they don't have any kind of gook in their ears, any kind of yeast infection or anything like that. But her ears, she has the easiest ears. She has, look, I don't even have to pluck her ear hair because she has like none. And I'm telling you. Okay, I got that mat out. All right. Hope that helps you guys figure out how to get mats out. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go spend some time with my family. But honestly, it took me maybe a half an hour to groom her, and her coat is soft. And yes, so guys, totally, I will ship you guys Always Bright Eyes. I'm going to put okay, that's the site. And then I will pin, just give me 1 second. Okay, this is I just posted the link for Always Bright Eyes. So if you go there, you can see, you can purchase the Always Bright Eyes, okay? It'll help you estimate the cost and everything, okay? So just go ahead and go to that link. If you have any questions, you can send me a message if I can't answer it for you. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to go watch a new show I've been watching. It's called, let me think, Taken. I like action-packed movies. So, did you guys see my new little, few months ago, we got a new little puppy that plays with Leo. He plays with Maybelline. He's not a Maltese. He's actually a terrier poodle cross. And boy, he keeps her on her toes. Yes, of course, Diane. Yes, happy to help you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Go to the events section, opt in so you don't miss out on it. I'm going to be going live tomorrow and doing a presentation for you guys. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. Let Maybelline say goodbye to you guys. Bye, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have a good night.